For those of you that you were using FileMaker Cloud in version 1.16, you may have known that there was an admin API, an API that actually lets you perform administrative actions on your server. With the rollout of version 17 of FileMaker, that's now both in FileMaker Cloud 1.17 and FileMaker Server 17. So this document here in the community, document 8766, is just an introduction to that. It's got a link to the API guide and the general cloud licensing agreement. But what's important to note on this page is that the Server 17 and Cloud 17 versions of the admin API are still trials until September 27th, 2019. And that means they're still building this technology, and that when FileMaker 18 comes out, they may have more permanent versions of the API at that time. But today there's a ton of great utilities out, and I'd like to show some of those out with you, show you the power of the admin API. It takes some of the management of FileMaker Server out of the admin console and out of the command line for you. So in this document, if you do need, the API guide is here. This API guide has tons of information in terms of all the different requests that you can make to the API, all the endpoints for how the API works, how to get your token, and the results from a call that you can expect to get back. So bookmark that if you plan to write your own API wrapper. But what I'd like to show off is document 8766, which is a document put together, document 9197 put together by Mark Denice. And it's a list of wrappers for both the data API, which is the next generation version of custom web publishing, but also for the admin API. So this list down here, these are all tools or code packages that you can use for administering your FileMaker server. And my favorite one out of these is by M. Aoto here. It's called the FileMaker Admin API Demo for FMS FMC 17. Now that just links to a FileMaker file. It actually links to another document, 9074, where he released it. And you'll see from the screenshots here, it's very close to the admin console, right? But this is just a FileMaker file, and I've downloaded here, and we're going to connect to our FileMaker 17 server and take a look to see how it works. So just going to pop in my IP address. This isn't a cloud server, so I'm not going to toggle on cloud. Admin, and then my password. Click sign in. And you see that connects me, that gets a token for interfacing with this FileMaker server. You can see FileMaker server 17.0.2, and it's got all the information that we need. So I can stop my database server from here. I can change settings, like if I want the maximum number of files to go down to 50, I can save that. And it'll perform these API requests for me. So what you might want to do with something like this is maybe create a custom branded admin console for your business that you distribute to your clients so that they can manage their server. But it has the ability to do most of what you would do on an admin console. And that includes stuff like this, like the schedule assistance. So for creating server schedules, it's very useful for that type of thing. And this file, he includes the password, so you can get in here and unlock all of this. You can see this is all native FileMaker code, no plugins or anything. It's just using some custom functions that he has here, and just native FileMaker calls performed by insert from URL. And really, it's just a well put together system for managing that. So that's released free on the community, so you can download that. So what advantages does the admin API have that maybe something like FMS admin doesn't have, the command line utility? And that really is the comparison of an API versus a command line. For a command line to work, you have to be on the server itself usually to run that, or SSH'd into the server, somehow connected to that server directly. Whereas an API, since it's running through this API interface, you can really be anywhere. Requests go over port 443 for SSL-enabled servers, um, and you can perform those calls really from any system. So you don't have to have a FileMaker profile. You can do this from a website that you set up. So if you want to create a custom web dashboard where people can log in and perform API actions, you can do that. So it really opens up the admin functionality to a lot more flexible ways of accessing it. And that's really exciting, especially going forward for people that want to do things like, make applications where they're doing monitoring and that type of stuff, automated monitoring, and, web portals and that type of thing. So just bookmark this page, just community.filemaker.com/docs/doc9197, and I would check out all of these. All of them, have a little bit a different way of doing things. If you're into things like custom web publishing and PHP development, Mark Denice himself has a couple good packages in here, FMPDA. And yeah, get out there and play around with the new admin API.